here we are today with Miss Erika Toribio. I'm going to go ahead and hand her over the platform, and then she can introduce herself, and then we'll jump into some questions.
Well, thank you, Emily. Yes, let me introduce myself. My name is Erika Toribio, and I'm actually a social worker. I'm a school social worker for Fresno Unified, and I also work as a program manager for United We Lead Foundation. So thank you, Emily, for having me over.
You're welcome. No problem. So me and Erika do work together. She has been someone that's been by my side the entire time that I've worked for the organization. So today what we're going to do is jump into a little bit more of who Miss Erika is, some of her journey, and then also some advice that she would have for her younger self and also for some of our students. So to begin, what was your major in college, and did you know that that was going to be your major, or did you just kind of fall into it?
So I attended Fresno State, so go Fresno State. And I actually did not know what I was going to major. You know, that always was a question that was very daunting to me when I was growing up, because everybody just kind of seemed to know what they wanted to do. And for me, I just changed my majors a couple of times, but in reality, I was just undecided for about 3 years. And it wasn't until I took an introductory course of social work. And I always knew I wanted to be in the helping field or helping others, but I just didn't know how to make it into a profession. I didn't know anything about social work until I actually took that course. And I had a wonderful professor who kind of went over all the amazing things you can do as a social worker. And I realized, my goodness, this is something that I want to do. And I was like, yes, that's me, that's me. So fast forward a year later, you know, I declared my major, and I graduated with my bachelor's in social worker. And then later on, I went into the master's program, and 2 years later, I graduated with the master's in social work.
Nice. And it's really cool to hear that to begin with, you kind of didn't know where you wanted to go. And then you knew that you were so much on the right track that you decided to go on and get a master's. That's amazing.
Yes.
So now moving to the second question. At United We Lead Foundation, I'm sure you know, because we work together, we encourage diversity and uniqueness. What do you feel diversified you among other candidates, as well as do you feel like your uniqueness has helped you further yourself in your career?
Yes, definitely. And, you know, it's one of those that when I was growing up, you know, I'm Latina, Mexicana. I came from Mexico at a very young age. And obviously, you know, dark skin, you know, brown. And growing up, I always felt like I didn't quite fit. I didn't quite belong, just because, you know, I didn't properly speak the English. And the reason I'm saying this is because when I was growing up, I felt like, oh, you know, like being different is wrong, or being unique is wrong. And it wasn't until I came into the field and realized actually my diversity is what makes me different, and in a good way. So, and the reason I keep saying that is because a lot of our communities are Latinos, especially in the Central Valley. And I realized like that's the best way to connect with others, and being able to speak English and Spanish, you know, again, that's another way to connect with families, offer resources, and provide services in their language. So yes, right. You know, I've learned to celebrate diversity and appreciate my own uniqueness. And I feel like a lot of it I learned just being in the social work field.
Right. That's amazing that you're almost like your career has helped you almost like love yourself and your uniqueness a little bit more. I love to hear that. The third question that I have for you is, if you were able to talk to the teen version of yourself, what piece of advice would you give yourself?
Well, actually, that's a very good question. I think I would just go back and just remind myself that be patient. Don't get too overwhelmed or too stressed about trying to choose the perfect career. I feel like I was given the opportunity just to kind of explore and realize like what I really wanted. So yeah, just going back and telling myself, hey, just hold on, be a little patient, give yourself a little grace, you know, appreciate who you are. Since, you know, I felt like if I would have given myself all those, you know, advices, I would have, you know, continued to do better. So either way, just be patient, love yourself.
You would have taken less pressure off of your shoulders and known how to kind of like enjoy yourself a little bit more.
Yes, definitely.
I can totally relate to that. And my fourth question for you is, what sort of activities did you do or did you use to kind of maintain your mental health and kind of check in with yourself throughout both like college and beginning your career? Was there anything that you kind of did as like a hobby to kind of take your mind off of those stresses?
You know what? I feel like a lot of it was just working out. I played soccer in college, and I'm sorry, not college, but high school. I played soccer in high school, and I was never necessarily bad at it, but I wasn't necessarily good at it, but I loved it. I love playing soccer, and I felt like that helped a lot. And, in my college years, I started running as just an extracurricular activity, and I loved running. I felt like just doing a lot of exercises helped a lot with me. So yeah, just exercising and definitely, being able to take time and able to like learn more stress management techniques. That definitely helped a lot, especially in college.
Nice. So you kind of use working out as your outlet. I
Yeah.
love, for me, working out is not an outlet. So to hear that, cool, how people can pick up on different things as ways to kind of make their way through the stress. My last question for you, Erica, is similar to the third one. If you could give a piece of advice to some of our students, what would that advice be? Would it reflect kind of the advice that you would give yourself, or would it be a little bit different?
It would be similar, just be patient with yourself, give yourselves a little bit of grace, understand that you don't have to choose a career right now, and continue to explore, and just also take advantage of all the opportunities that they're given to you. I kind of wish when I was growing up, I would have had some similar programs to go over, and especially the Spring Writers Institute program, that would have been helpful because I felt like growing up, that would have been a great opportunity for me to take. So no, just take advantage of all the opportunities given to you.
Nice. That's really, really helpful. I'm sure our students appreciate hearing that. Thank you so much, Miss Erica, for taking time out of your busy, busy day to be with us. We really appreciate you. And again, students, if you have any questions for Miss Erica, please let us know. I know she's more than willing to sit down and talk to you guys or meet one-on-one. We can always set that up. So thank you, Erica, for speaking with us. And we really appreciate all that you do for our organization.
Well, thank you, Emily, for having me over. And again, thank you.
Bye, Erica.